Is eSAFE a faster way to get your US Entry Waiver? And why does approaching your US Waiver application like a puzzle help in reducing chances of rejection? There's 5 things you need to know about the eSAFE Waiver. That's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm Dan Joffe, US Waiver Lawyer. If you're looking for expert advice on traveling to the United States without stress, schedule a free call with me. Links in the video description. Let's get started. 1. What is the eSAFE Waiver? eSAFE is an online system created by the US Customs and Border Protection Agency. It allows Canadian citizens who are inadmissible to apply online for a US Entry Waiver. It is a much more effective way to get your US Waiver. 2. How long does it take to get the eSAFE Waiver? eSAFE Waiver processing times vary depending on factors including the Custom Border Protection workload, the complexity of your application, and the third-party response times to CBP inquiries about your waiver application. One of the CBP's objectives for creating eSAFE is to improve waiver processing time. Here's what the CBP says. Quote, the processing time for waiver applications submitted online via eSAFE are expected to be significantly less than paper form applications. So you will get your waiver application processed faster, which means you will get your US waiver faster. 3. Do all law firms or service companies have access to eSAFE? While individuals can get access to eSAFE, not all law firms and not all service companies have access to eSAFE. The US CBP authorizes only specific law firms to access eSAFE based on security clearance criteria. If you hire a service for your US waiver application, it's important to ensure they have eSAFE access. If a service does not, it might be due to the fact that they don't meet the CBP's security and clearance standards. Now, to divert your attention away from the importance of eSAFE access, some firms claim that eSAFE processing is not faster because of the requirement for an in-person biometrics appointment. These firms will then push you to a manual application. But again, according to the CBP, using eSAFE will allow you to get your US waiver faster. So before hiring a service, make sure they have access to eSAFE for faster processing. 4. How easy is eSAFE to use? If you're comfortable with online tasks like filling in forms, uploading documents, and making online payments, you'll find eSAFE user-friendly. But simplicity of use should not be your main concern. Your goal is to prepare the strongest application possible, maximizing your chance of approval. Filling in the form portion of the eSAFE waiver is the easy part. What's much harder is the support and documentation. A good way to think about the US waiver application is to envision it like a puzzle. Each document that you need to submit, like your personal statement, recommendation letters, and other supporting documents, serves as pieces of this puzzle. Each piece must fit perfectly to communicate a clear and compelling legal narrative about you, and that story has to match with the US CBP's criteria for approval. If any piece of your puzzle is misaligned or doesn't fit the CBP's criteria, the risk of rejection increases. It's critical to get your US waiver application right because after you submit it, you can't make changes. It becomes a permanent entry with the US Customs and Border Protection. There's no room for mistakes. 5. How do I apply for an eSAFE waiver? There are 2 stages that you need to take to apply for an eSAFE waiver. Stage 1 is completing this eSAFE application online. In addition to filling out a form, you need to prepare and upload all the required documentation. Stage 2 is the biometrics appointment. Within 45 days of submitting your eSAFE application, you need to attend in person a biometrics appointment at an eSAFE port of entry. At that biometrics appointment, the CBP will take your fingerprints and photograph and confirm the authenticity of the documents you've uploaded on eSAFE. Finally, one more important point. Even though using eSAFE will get your US waiver faster, eSAFE is not mandatory. you can prepare a paper-based application and manually submit it at an appropriate port of entry. If you need help with your US waiver application, reach out to book a free call.